Okay, so in today's video, we're going to take a look at what we got in this box here from Gaugewerx. So let me just go ahead and open it up, and then we will take a look and see what we got here and what we will be able to do with them. I like his custom tape, though. I have not seen any shops doing that yet, so I like that. It's a nice touch. It's one of those things kind of instills some confidence here. Oh, cool. We got a business card, a sticker, and another sticker. That's actually pretty cool. Probably put these on the workbench somewhere. Alright, so we got this guy. It's a 0304 board, and it should have a dead microcontroller. I think I can see a big chunk of it missing there. And oh, we have another one. Big old chunk of it missing too. So two of them with dead microcontrollers. This one is a 2005 board here. I do actually have some of these microcontrollers on the way here from China. I gotta confirm they're real before I do the video on them. And I have a couple of these, so I'll be able to put another one on here and see if we can fix it. So, cool. We got two of these. Yeah, I know I said I wanted to take a break from microcontroller videos, but this showed up in the mail, so this is the next project. So, yeah, these are definitely two dead microcontrollers. Oh, this one's got a huge chunk of the board, man. Whoa. Um, I'd have to follow that trace and see what we got going on there. This guy may not be able to do much of anything with that, depending on what's all going on there. Um, this one, I actually have the VFD to replace, and that's not too hard to fix that rip trace there. Dang, that's a big old pop out of that though. So I'll definitely be tracing everything down and figuring out why these went pop before putting a new one on there though. So yeah, if you're not I mean, if you've been with the channel for a really long time, I had this video I did quite a while back where I made a mistake. I had a customer send me a cluster that he, you know, he didn't tell me the whole story. He fed me some BS. I think he was just trying to get a better price out of me, which I didn't. I'm firm in my prices. I never give people better prices. But yeah, he talked a bunch of crap on Gaugewerx and convinced me that something was wrong with what they were doing over there. And I had mentioned it, but uh, Zach over at Gaugewerx reached out to me, and I realized what my customer had fed me was a load of bullshit, and that Gaugewerx does good stuff. He sent me the chat and stuff from that and everything, and that's why you'll notice in any future videos I've done since then, when I call out a shop, I always get screenshots of the conversations before I do it, because I want all the facts if I'm gonna call out a shop. So if y'all ever saw that video, I've edited the video. It's no longer even in there. I've cut that out. Um, but yeah, he does good work. He actually does excellent work. I like what he does over there. I don't like doing custom work myself. I don't like putting all the different custom inlays and trying to get the LEDs absolutely perfect and all of that stuff. That's just not my thing. I don't like to do that. I just I like to repair circuit boards, get into this is the fun stuff when they got a big old hole blown in the board, carving that out and fixing it. That's fun. I like doing that kind of stuff. So I'm excited to get these from him to work on, and yeah, I regret having that portion of that video in there, not having all the facts and calling them out. So I wanted to say that. Most of y'all probably haven't seen that. That was from the channel before I had 200 subscribers. That was a long time ago. But I just want to mention he does good work, and if you're looking for something like tricked out custom with the stainless steel inlays and all of that kind of stuff, it's not stuff I do, but I know he does it. Okay, before we get too far into diagnosing this thing, I'm just going to take this chip off to eliminate anything going on with it, to diagnose it, because if it's got a dead short inside it, it's going to pull some of these voltage rails down, and cause just extra stress on this guy. So we're gonna take this off, so that way we can check our voltages coming out of the voltage regulator, see if we have any more dead shorts across it, or anything like that. So I'm just gonna pop this thing off camera, and we'll start diagnosing this board. Oh, and in this video, I guess I will try out this new solder wick I got. It's from Tech Spray Pro Wick. I got it off of Mauser. Not sponsored or anything. I just trying something new. It's a bigger roll. It's a 25-foot roll instead of a 5-foot roll. I went with this one because it was It still came in one of these ESD safe things. Most of the 25-foot rolls come in a spool instead of like this. So that's why I went with the Tech Spray, is because it still came in a ESD safe case, which is just this. That's also what makes it ESD safe, as far as I'm aware, on any of these guys. So let's try it out and see if this solder wick wicks as good as the MG Chemicals I've been using. I've been using MG Chemicals for a while, but their 25-foot roll is not one of these. You could get 25 feet of it for about the same price in ESD safe things, but you are getting 5 of the little smaller spools instead. So I decided to go with this. This seems first impression seems to work just as good as the MG Chemicals. I don't know if y'all have noticed, but MG Chemicals has been really showing up on my bench a lot lately. I've been getting. Y'all may not have noticed because I haven't been doing videos on some of the stuff I bought recently, but I have bought MG Chemicals Flux now, and the conformal coating. Okay, so we lifted one pad, but it looks like that pad is no stuff, but I'll double check it there. Okay, so yeah, that's all desoldered. We definitely lifted one pad. I'll check under the microscope there. I think that one is one of the ones that is no stuff. Let's see here. I don't have the ring light plugged in, so I can't capture anything on the camera with it, so I'll just look real quick. Yeah, that one's no stuff, so that's no big deal. I can live without it. Okay, so let's take a look at this real quick and see what we get on the power rails of this thing. So, just checking it. Alright, so 5 volts, 0.3 volts, I guess, and 5 volts. That's a ground, it looks like. 5 volts, 12 volts, and 5 volts. Okay, and we did not fry the VFD driver there. Yeah, got worried for half a second there. That 12 volts and 5 volts touched, I believe. That may have been the ground. What was that again? Yeah, that was 5 volts, so that was 12 volts there. I guess it has a little flux or something on there. It slipped as soon as I touched it, and the VFD went off there for a second. Okay, so yeah, I don't have a data sheet on this chip. It's the On Semiconductor 9356227. Yeah, I don't have a data sheet on it. If you have one, that'd be great. I didn't see one on their website. So this is definitely ground, and we're getting, 0.10. So yes, this one must be. Yeah, that one's ground, and that one. Those two are ground. All the rest are 5 plus the 12 volt coming out. So the other one, I don't think I recorded it, but the middle 3 all had 0 volts on there, even without the microcontroller on it. So I think it does have a faulty voltage regulator on there. I'm going to pull one off a different board. I don't want to pull it off of this board, but I just want to get some good readings. Pull one off another board and put it on there, and we'll read it and see what we get off of that. So I'm just gonna do that off camera. It's just a quick little hot air station. Take it off. I always feel bad for these capacitors right next to it when I mess with these. Uh, it's not really good for capacitors to heat them up that much, but just nothing you can do because there's a ton of solder underneath there. You're not gonna wick it all out from underneath it. So. Um, Man, I wish these capacitors were like right here instead. Just pushing them up a couple of millimeters away would have been nice. But oh well. Let's swap out that voltage regulator and take a look. Okay, so I took the bulbs off just to get the power supply to give me a more accurate reading of what's going on here. So swap the voltage regulator out here, and those two pins that are not zero on the other ones but are zero on this one are doing the same thing here. I'm sure you noticed while I was doing the repair, even though I had it fast forwarded there, I did check for continuity between ground and all of the pins just to make sure there were no dead shorts across them, and there were not. I would assume, so I'll just go ahead and show you again here. So, oh, y'all can't see it. I only use this thing for videos. I'm sure I've mentioned that before, but here we go. So 5 volts, 5 volts, 0 volts, which this is one of those pins. 0 volts, 0 volts. Then there's the 13 volts in, and 5 volts. So just these guys are 5. These 3 are at 5. I guess those 2 pins that are in between ground there are probably some sort of signal they get from the microcontroller or something for sleep and wake mode. I don't know. I'm making an assumption here. I don't have the data sheet on this, so I don't know the function of those 2 pins. I just assumed it was supposed to have some sort of voltage there because that's what the other ones had. But I was wrong. So nothing wrong with the voltage regulator on this one. I'm gonna check the some of the pins on here just see if they're getting the 5 volts that they're supposed to. But yeah, with it's giving 5 volts out on the regulator on the 5 volt rails. So I just gotta check the VCCs on here, see if they have 5 volts. I'm just gonna check like one, and then the power supply up there is reading just a absolute 0 amp pull on here. So we'll get the microcontroller on there and see what we have going on. But yeah, I'm not seeing anything having a dead short across it. Normally when these things go bad, it's just somebody digging around inside here, shorts it out and fries it, or the not the micro, the voltage regulator goes bad and just sends like 12 volts on all the 5 volt rails. That's why I started with checking with that, is I've seen that before. And I just noticed that variant in those, so I was like, okay, let's swap it out because it's easy enough to do. I don't really particularly care for swapping them out on these though, because I don't like getting these capacitors hot. Electrolytic capacitors, you really shouldn't heat them up too much, or else you'll start drying out the electrolyte in them. So yeah, we'll continue on. This one's gonna be fun with all these traces. Like, come on. How do you do that? I got the microcontroller on the board there, and let me get this loaded up. Yeah, I didn't record putting it on. I've already done a couple of videos of putting the microcontroller on there, and I actually used the one that I said I was never going to use, the one with the bent pins on it, because I was like, this board, I don't really care too much if I fix it or not, and this microcontroller, I don't care too much if I fry it or not. So I used the one with the bent pins, which took forever to solder on because I had to straighten out the pins as I did it. I ended up lifting a pad over here because of a bent pin. I was like I'd already soldered down like the whole thing before I noticed it, and I was like, shit. So I was trying to straighten it back out with the soldering iron and the thing, and I also lifted a pad over here. Exact same thing happened. Just it was a bent pin that I was trying to straighten out with the chip soldered in, which is never a good idea. It was just one of those. I just don't care too much. This project's just for fun. Okay, so I got it wired in, got it hooked up. Let me power it up. But by the way, it didn't turn out to be an issue with the voltages there. So let's just turn this thing on. That's interesting. Hopefully half the screen's not dead, but we'll figure that out later. Let's connect to it. So connect. We're just using the same settings we always use with this microcontroller here. Um, Okay, so we do connect to it. I haven't tried writing it all yet. I don't know if this one's going to be one of the ones that's kind of a pain. All right, let's do. I want steering wheel controls. Yeah, that one's. I don't have that as a hex. I have that as a bin. Load binary. Steering wheel controls. There we go. All right. I can't remember them off the top of my head. 3FFF is what I'm going to. Okay. Clear all selection. Add selection. 3 FFF. Okay. Program. And it's programming. Cool. So even if it has errors here, just, same deal as before, where you give it a little heat and it should work. But it's not giving me issues right now. So I'm not going to record programming the whole thing. I have other videos on that. I've probably put a link in the description and that. But let me finish programming this thing, and then I will show you it working. If this all works, maybe it's got a bad VFD driver. I don't know. We'll find out. All right, so let's power this up real quick and check it. So I had put a bad write on here, so I guess I skipped a section in there. I didn't record the whole programming process, so I'm pretty sure I just skipped a small section of section 3, and so it didn't write the whole thing. So it didn't work, and I wasted 2 or 3 hours chasing this voltage circuit right here because I was unaware, but I now know that the microcontroller pulls pin 2 of this down to ground to open up the 5 volts that go to all of these guys, which this is your VFD driver and all that. So I assumed that there was a problem with the voltage regulator. I put a different voltage regulator on it. That didn't fix it, so then I started chasing a bunch of places where it went. I even had found it going to the microcontroller, but I just assumed that was a 5-volt wake-up line, that this would send 5 volts there to wake it up, and not the other way around. So I didn't realize this was supposed to be pulling that down to ground. So that was me wasting a bunch of time on it. But now we got it up and running, and so next step, I guess, is going to be to put a button on here, so that way I can press the button to get different things to come across the screen, and I want to be able to figure out how the VFD driver talks to the microcontroller. That's kind of my next project here, because this one, it's got too many jumpers that I have to put on here. I don't really want to sell this as a working board to somebody, just to avoid having to do like a warranty repair. So, okay, so we're going to put this tactile switch on here that was missing when the board got here. But first, check out this long needle that comes on the MG Chemicals flux. I've been trying out different brands of flux, and I got this one recently. It seems to be alright. It's like the cheapest one you can get on Mauser, so I wanted to give it a shot too. So I'd say it's about the same as Chip Quick, but even worse odor than Chip Quick, so you definitely want to use your fume extractor with it. So yeah, let's go ahead and, by the way, y'all can't see it, and I normally don't have it on in the videos, but I do keep my fume extractor right there. So let's zoom in a little bit so you can kind of see what I'm doing here. I already cleaned the pad off there with that solder wick, that this tech spray. Uh, just trying out new stuff over here. Try to switch it up, you know. If you always just stick with the exact same thing every time, you might be missing out on something. You never know. So that's all what I'm doing here, just switching things up a little bit. Trim that. Alright. And get the solder. Cool. So, button's working, screen's working right, and yeah, nothing's getting hot, and we're not drawing some unusual amount of current. So, yeah, I'd say this was a successful repair here, and you know, I'm not going to go all the way out and completely fix this thing because I'm going to just use this for some testing. Um, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this after I'm done testing, because I'm definitely not going to sell this one as a whole cluster just because there's just so many pads that are going to be jumpers on here. Um, I'm not comfortable with the reliability of this one for that, but I may sell it as a parts board. You know, it's just a working parts board. Just put it on eBay for parts, I guess, because I mean it does work. Everything's functional, but I don't need another full parts board. I don't think. I think I got enough. I'll double check before I let this thing go. But yeah, hey, hopefully you guys liked the video. You'll probably see this board again in another video here soon because I want to figure out how to talk to this without this. Because I want to make the little circuit board of just the VFD. This is a VFD driver over here. I think I just got to do SPI to it, but I'll have to figure that out. But yeah, this was a successful repair. If you saw my Election Day 3 video, you know that I said I wasn't going to be able to fix this because I thought there was something wrong with this circuit over here, but it was really just well, I mean, there was something wrong with it. It wasn't getting signal from the microcontroller, but it wasn't because there was something physically wrong with it. It was just when I programmed the microcontroller, I completely missed a section of it. So, yeah, that was my own fault. I wasted a lot of time on that. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. So I hope you guys enjoyed it.